Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. So we got Bitcoin right now staying over that $8,000 mark, trading at 8,047, Ethereum at 142, and XRP at 0.211 right now. Everything seems to be looking quite green right now in the crypto space, as you guys can see here. A sea of green, and will this trend continue? So what we had been seeing was after this big pump last week, and this is XRP on the hourly, guys. After this big pump last week, we saw a decline, okay? We went as low as about 20 cents yet again, 19.9 we'll call it, and then boom, upward momentum came out of what seemed to be nowhere. So XRP following Bitcoin, of course, and this is the Bitcoin chart, guys. As you can see, the chart trends look fairly similar, but the same thing was happening here, and the rest of the crypto space followed. And so this is where we're at right now. We're seeing green, and when you look at the Bitcoin charts, looking quite promising because we are looking as if after this decline, we saw this pump decreasing a little bit now, but we could see another rally. And if we meet this high and surpass that high, that's what we're ultimately looking for. So on the daily, we look at XRP, or rather Bitcoin on the daily, and guys, you can see the trend looking a lot better on the daily than on the hourly. When you look at these candlesticks as one-day events, you can see prominent move up, slight move down, followed by another large green candlestick up. Okay, large volume down there. Short red candlestick. So are we going to continue to see this trend move in this direction? Okay, right? We tend to see this, right? And when we're seeing larger green candlesticks vis-a-vis smaller red candlesticks with lower volume, this is a good indication, or a couple of indicators that would suggest a rally. We still have to keep our eye on this. And again, this is the big, I think this is one of the bigger resistant levels that we have to pierce. Ultimately, this candlestick up here is the top of that zone, which is about 10,300 approximately. So if we can pierce the 10,000, we'll call it 10,000 because, I mean, that's just a psychological number. People, get it in their head, $10,000. Once it goes past that, boy, now's the time to buy. Personally, I'm glad I bought lower than that, but some people have got their own idea on these things, and this is where FOMO kicks in, so that will fuel a rally, of course. The trend to me is looking good on the smaller time frames, and right now, again, guys, this is Bitcoin on the daily, but all the other cryptocurrencies will follow Bitcoin in the interim. We got Leonidas on Twitter, okay? At Leo Hajilozu, Citi experimented with Ripple. XRP_Canada also tagged me in this tweet, and this is really interesting. So guys, Citibank, one of the biggest banks in the United States, is now confirming more and more Ripple utilization through blockchain technology. So just going to go down here. Ken Moore, head of Citi Innovation Labs, told IB Times UK during a technology briefing that the bank had been looking at distributed ledger technology for the last few years and has amassed a skilled team. We have up and running 3 separate systems within Citi now that actually deploy blockchain distributed ledger technologies. They are all within the labs now, just so there is no real money passing through these systems yet. They are at a pre-production level, to be clear. We also have an equivalent to Bitcoin up and running again within the labs, so we can mine what is called Citicoin. So I think this statement was actually back from 2015, and since then Citibank has actually abandoned their Citicoin project. But then down here, more details on the 3 systems were never revealed, but Rakesh Yadav, who acted as the head of application development at WorldLink from 2013 to 2017, revealed on his LinkedIn profile that during that time, he was leading innovation in digital payment strategy for international payment utilizing blockchain technology, e.g. Citicoin, an experimentation project with Stack like Ripple Labs Hyperledger Chain, .com and its relevance in corporate banking. So listed down here when he was with Citi as the head of application development, experimentation project with Stack like Ripple Labs. And guys, so I skipped a little bit of this article. I will, of course, link it in the description for those of you guys who want to read it further. This confirms Ken Moore's statement and reveals that Citi has experimented with Ripple. The Ripple Citi connection is also confirmed by Manthan Sheth, Vice President, Digital Money and Blockchain Initiative at Citi Innovation Labs from December 2014 to December 2016. According to Mr. Sheth, he worked on 3 cryptocurrency proof-of-concept projects at the Treasury and Trade Services Innovation Lab in Dublin. In one of the projects, they were, and I quote, building a payments rail using Ripple protocol and platform to expedite cross-border payments and cross-currency payments for Citi institutional clients. And here is Manthan Sheth, a screen grab from what looks to be his LinkedIn profile as well, building a payment rail using Ripple protocol. So guys, Citi has been working with Ripple in the background. Mum has been the word for the last little while. And so it seems as though they are prepped and ready to go once cryptocurrency regulations come to pass. Now, guys, remember I was talking about tier 1 and tier 2 banks in a former video, and I believe that Citibank is actually one of those tier 1 banks. So these guys realize, look, if Ripple is going to be able to democratize cross-border payments so that small to middle-sized banks can now compete with the big guys, we should also be using this technology so that we can be in a strategic position to compete. Very, very interesting stuff here. So thanks so much, Leonidas, for posting that. Again, guys, this is from the XRP Arcade. Go check out the website if you want to read the full article. Again, I will link it in the description. This from XRP Crypto Wolf on Twitter. And this is great news. Supervisors from around the world met to discuss how to supervise and regulate crypto assets and virtual asset service providers on January 9th. So that was just from 2 days ago. So the FATF, guys, for those of you guys who do not know, they are the Financial Action Task Force. Also known by its French name, Le Groupe d'Action Financière, is an intergovernmental organization founded in 1989 on the initiative of the G7 to develop policies to combat money laundering. In 2001, its mandate expanded to include terrorism financing. Just going to click on this wiki link here. And so it's the same group here going under the Financial Action Task Force on Money Laundering. So essentially, these guys are really interested in making sure money is being tracked responsibly, making sure terrorists aren't subverting the regular channels in order to finance terrorism, as we've seen in the past. And, over the last few years, we've heard of Al-Qaeda, ISIS, those terrorist groups using Bitcoin, for example, to fund terrorism. So very interesting. I'll read you some of this here. Essentially just saying that supervisors from the FATF are meeting on January 9th. Supervisors play an important role in ensuring that regulated entities such as banks and financial institutions implement the FATF's standards to detect and prevent money laundering and terrorist financing. The FATF's Supervisors Forum is an initiative of the Chinese presidency of FATF to promote more effective supervision by national authorities. And in this particular meeting discussing the regulation of virtual assets and asset providers. So guys, I will link that in the description. XRP Crypto Wolf also put a link down here. So if you go to his tweet in the description, you can click on this link and find the full article. It's happening, folks. It's moving right before our eyes. And this is great. I think we're going to start to see more of this in 2020, right? I think that the deadline is approaching, even if we don't know exactly what that deadline is. I feel like these guys have discussed what needs to be done by what point. And so we're seeing a lot of movement where we're getting a lot of news of all these meetings and, important people around the world talking about cryptocurrencies. All this stuff is happening. And I think 2020, we are going to see some meaningful regulation. And I think that will ultimately help the cryptocurrency market thrive. Remember, guys, more demand for XRP means more people will be trading XRP, and therefore the price will rise. Ripple enables SMEs receive international payments immediately, says exec. So this from Marcus Treacher, essentially explaining how the global economy would experience further growth of micro and wallet payments in the coming year, which would in turn enable instant and low value payment flows. So talking about how right now Ripple is targeting those low value but high volume payments, like those MoneyGram payments, those retail transactions, those retail cross-border transactions under $10,000. The shift from traditional large value batch flows to low value, high volume payments will help SMEs break into new markets much faster. SMEs are often young and fast growing, which exposes them to cash flow crises through late payments from their larger foreign buyers. So explaining essentially, again, how they're democratizing this for SMEs, which are small to medium enterprises, and how by using Ripple and blockchain technology, it would alleviate a lot of the pain points, such as the uncertainty, errors, all those things that go along with the manual workflow of sending these payments with the technology that businesses are currently using. Blockchain will make this frictionless. And essentially, Marcus Treacher just speaking to that point again, guys, not going to go through this whole thing, going to link it in the description for you. And this, Ripple crypto remittance platform solves real world problems, says FlashFX co-founder. So I got to give credit to Crypto Eddie. She did an interview with Nicolas Steiger and how he responded to detractors, Ripple and XRP detractors who questioned the company's business model. When asked if Ripple pays FlashFX to be a client and if ODL is a scam, Steiger said that the company made a strategic decision to use Ripple early on. Can you believe that people actually think that Ripple goes around paying people off to use their software? Au contraire, mon frère. That doesn't happen. Ripple charges these companies a licensing fee to use their superior technology, but people think Ripple goes around paying off customers to get onto their blockchain. It's comical. So here's Nicolas Steiger's quote. For us, we've wanted to use Ripple for a long time and we see the value. We still use Swift. Okay, so he says we still use Swift. We now use ODL. We have our own integration that we have had from day one on the ledger where we're using XRP. It's not a scam. It solves a real world problem. It solves a real use case, a use case that I've been believing in for a long time. Steiger says regulatory red tape is one of the biggest hurdles, guys, and this is what I've been saying for months now. Regulatory red tape, one of the biggest hurdles to wider use of digital assets among banks and fintech companies. When a bank or organization has more certainty around the regulatory aspects, and this is a quote from him, by the way, around the regulatory aspects and is more positive around the risk at the time of using XRP as a digital asset, then they can turn it on without anyone even knowing. It just happens. It becomes a smoother process of integrating and enabling participants using ODL. That's right, they can turn it on the flip of a switch without anyone knowing. So this is why these companies are integrating with Ripple technology today. Even though cryptocurrency regulations haven't come to pass, this is why Ripple has made a push over the last couple of years to get people on xCurrent, even though it's not using XRP. This is the gateway. This is the way these customers will get comfortable with Ripple technology. Then when cryptocurrency regulations come to pass, move on to ODL, formerly XRapid. And so here's another article with regards to this same story. As you can see here, Crypto Eddie has a video here with regards to this interview with Nicolas Steiger, guys. I will also link this in the description if you want to watch Crypto Eddie's video. How many more companies do you think are just waiting on the sidelines for cryptocurrency regulations to pass so that they can scale up their usage of ODL, making companies like Swift obsolete? Anyways, that's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.